Hello. I thought I would share this important topic and information regarding relationships, because I've been following the Finnish business coach Laura, who has the same name as I do, and she is so authentic, so smart, wise, a beautiful young woman. And I love her authentic content, and I've been sometimes mentioning her in my videos because she is such an inspiration for me, for my business building, and for my message, for my self-expression, for me to be who I am as a sensitive person. She's also a sensitive woman, and as I have watched her story videos on Instagram many times, which I love. I always love to see what she is creating and posting and uploading again. So very often she has mentioned this. She was also bullied at school as a child, like I was as well. Maybe not so badly, but anyway, we have that in common as well. So we have a lot in common. When it comes to being a sensitive woman and speaking up your truth and building your heart-centered business. So she has really been, very supportive. I've also messaged with her sometimes, one-on-one on Instagram DMs. So this is a topic that she has often been talking about, mentioning, that really strongly, powerfully has supported me and my message and my work as well, and what I'm about and what I'm bringing into the world, as I am also serving my clients who are sensitive empaths, highly sensitive people. So what she often has talked about is being authentic. So, because there's only one you. Even if you are a twin, there's still only one you. And, life is really about being your authentic self, that you should not be the watered down, smothered, suppressed version of you. You should be you completely. And so this was just coming to me that I just had to share this download right now. If this resonates with you as well, because, when you go through narcissistic abuse and you've had narcissistic parents, it can be so difficult to really acknowledge who you are and acknowledge your worth, to actually love yourself, to actually take care of yourself. These things can be so difficult, as it has been for me as well, and that is why I created my services. Because I felt that I had this calling, this purpose, this mission that I just had to fulfill, to follow. So you have to be your authentic self. Really, there is no other option. If you're not being who you are, then you're always going to be fake. So if you always let other people define you and tell you who you are and what you should do, for example, and you are suppressed, you are silenced, you are quiet, you're not speaking up when you should, you're not expressing yourself when you should, you're not being yourself, you're being something else, someone else entirely. And this is very unhealthy. Your soul will literally be suffering. Your higher self will be screaming at you, why are you treating yourself like this? So that is also self-sabotage in itself, because you are abandoning yourself again. If you give too much power to other people over your own opinions, over who you really authentically are. And this, again, of course, is a process, like healing after abusive treatments, after bullying, these sorts of heavy things. It is a process that you have to go through it step by step, day by day, moment by moment, second by second, week after week. It's a journey. It's especially when you are on your spiritual journey, that you have spiritually awakened to be who you actually are, who you are supposed to be, how God has meant for you to be. So really it is a building process, because you need to be building your life, discovering what are you about, what are your passions, what do you like in life, what do you approve, what are your healthy values, and what are not. And again, this comes together with people pleasing, because you are people pleasing if you are the suppressed, the silenced, watered down version of who you are supposed to be, of who you authentically are, of how God has meant you to be and live your life. There is nothing wrong with who you authentically are being. You just have to discover it, and you have always been enough. You have always been that person. Because those narcissistic people will keep on telling you that you are never enough, that no matter what you do is enough. Like there's always something wrong with you, like you are always the crazy one, the problem, the issue, like you are just always making mistakes. Now it is time that you discern those people and situations and things that you want to be consciously attracting and creating in your life. So what is it that you are allowing, first of all? What is it that you are choosing? Because you can be unconsciously, subconsciously choosing things that are not serving you, that were never serving you, because you've been programmed that way. So now it is time as an adult that you pick yourself up and you start to support yourself, and you don't self-sabotage anymore, you don't abandon yourself anymore, you're supporting yourself. You're actually becoming the person who you always have been and who you should be. And there's nothing negative about that. So again, this is a huge reason why you have to stop people pleasing. Because you have to learn how to put yourself first in that healthy position and state of mind, because nobody else can do those things for you again. So, for example, if you have children, even more for that reason, because you have to be that example for them. So you have to fulfill your obligations. You have to fulfill your duties. So as adults, we have a lot of duties, and of course, especially if we have children and pets, for example, and things to take care of, bills to pay, because we have this human life on this planet Earth. It is how it is. So there are just certain things that we just have to do. So that is why it is a huge reason to motivate yourself. Start your day to motivate yourself to start believing in yourself and being who you are, and not feeling like you're lost and hopeless and desperate and crying alone and feeling in panic and having those panic attacks. It is such a dark, depressive, awful place to be if you are in that place. And because I've been there a million times in my life, and each time it felt like it was getting worse and more difficult to deal with. So these are important things. Emotional abuse is a serious matter. Any sorts of bullying and abuse can get really serious. You can lose your life because of them. So this is why you have to start to learn to support yourself. That you're actually listening to yourself, your intuition, your higher self, your soul. You're calling your power back every single day. You're taking care of yourself. And understanding that you don't need to be stuck where you are. You don't need to be stuck pleasing people, feeling drained out, just because those energy vampires want to suck your energy out of you. They want your attention, your love, your care, your money, whatever. But you have to acknowledge that it is what it is, and just pay attention, be wise, be smart. Especially if you have children to protect as well. So In order to have a more stable life, you have to pay attention. Because there can be so many of these energy vampires, these narcissistic people, especially when we are sensitive earth angels, starseeds, chosen ones, empaths, highly sensitive people, especially when we're women. Those men just come as leeches. They think that they can just treat us how they wish, and they do not understand the strength and the beauty of a strong woman who is just being herself and who has a mission from God and who is actually a healer, who is kind and sensitive and intuitive. You know, those men just take and take and take from women like us. So that again is self-protection when you acknowledge the pattern. So pay attention to the patterns, pay attention to the energies, to the people who you want to be around. What are you accepting? What are you tolerating? If you want a change to these patterns, if you want to be more of yourself, start listening to yourself. What is right for you? What are your values? Write them down and act on them every day. What do you want in life? What do you feel like your soul is telling you to do, your higher self? These are the healthy steps to take, especially after horrible experiences, when you have almost lost your entire life and your health and your sanity. And there is no shame in standing up for yourself. Those narcissistic people have practiced coercive control and reactive abuse on you, and they have made you feel and believe that there is always something wrong with you being your authentic self. You are allowed to be angry, you are allowed to cry, you are allowed to breathe. You have to do those things. They are survival. They are natural feelings and actions and you know, reactions to the abuse. First of all, if you are feeling angry, crying, and in panic, they are not anything to be turned against you. So it is serious reactive abuse if somebody is still trying to turn it against you. And so it is so powerful when you really start to let yourself be who you are supposed to be, who you really are. You start to let yourself have more freedom, because really it is freedom to have that state of mind. I don't care if they like me. Not all people will like me, and that is just fine. You know, it is just how it is. Like, for example, if you talk, if you speak in front of an audience, some like you, some don't like you, some don't understand you, some might not listen to you, but so what? You're not there for those who are not your people. You are there for those who are. So some don't care, and you know, it is just what it is, and just need to focus on what matters. And again, a kind reminder, thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel, first of all, for liking and sharing. Also follow me on Threads and Instagram. You can DM me on Instagram or send me an email if you're interested in working with me one-on-one and you have questions. I would love to start working with you to help you to become who you are supposed to be in this lifetime, because you have this one life. So you don't need to be wasting it with toxic, negative people who are not your people. So if you need help and support from somebody who understands what it is like, then do get in touch with me, book a call with me, and we can see how many calls you want to book. That is completely up to you. I'm not pressuring into anything. I also have a coaching program. If you're interested, we can talk about that as well. And check out my self-help book as well on Amazon.